Attention, travel and tourism industry professionals, get ready for the Sanganai Hlanganani 2024 Africa's premier business exchange happening September 12th to the 14th in Bulawayo at the ZITF grounds. Over 400 exhibitors and over 100 international buyers, media across the globe will interface as the 17th edition of Sanganai Hlanganani World Tourism Expo. Never take a chance to be left out to expose your business to the world. Take advantage of the networking platforms. Establish strategic business partnerships with world tourism players. Showcase your destination, products and services. Derive value from well-structured and informative international tourism forums and conferences. Join us at Sanganai Hlanganani 2024. Africa's premier business exchange awaits. See you there.
Welcome to the National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe stand at the Sanganai Hlanganani World Tourism Expo 2024. So at National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe, we pride ourselves in curating rich and authentic African experiences for anybody who cares to visit our facilities. Okay, so you can come close. I take you through a brief but very comprehensive tour of our stand. Okay, so as National Museums and Monuments of Zimbabwe, we manage a number of facilities across the country. We actually have 5 administrative regions and we try to represent them all in this stand. So to begin with, we have Great Zimbabwe there, you know, the iconic medieval Grand Palace from which the country borrows its name. So symbolized there by the Zimbabwean bird and also an illustration of a stone structure. Okay, then we have the Victoria Falls, which is also, just like Great Zimbabwe, a World Heritage Site, one of the 5 in Zimbabwe. And that gentleman there is Dr. David Livingstone, one of the earliest Europeans to see the Victoria Falls, and actually the man who named Victoria Falls after his Queen Victoria of England. Originally, that whole phenomenon was known by locals as Mosiko ya Tui. All right, and then we have the Matobo Hills. We just tried to showcase one of the much hyped up facilities in Matopos, which is the World's View, where Cecil John Rhodes and a number of other Rhodesian heroes were buried. So that hill was known as Malindanzimu before it was popularly known as the World's View. Okay, Malindanzimu meaning the resting place of the benevolent spirits of the nation. So that gentleman there is Cecil John Rhodes, the man famed for colonizing Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi. All right, through his company, the British South Africa Company. And also buried in Matopos is one other iconic figure for the native Africans, King Mzilikazi, the founder of the Ndebele nation, who used to be King Shaka's general, and then he branched out, trekked north to settle here, and he formed the Ndebele nation, which has grown to be a very, very big nation now. We also showcase some ethnographic stuff there, Ikau, Indugu, and Umkhonto, which were used for fighting in the tribal wars and also for confronting the colonizers in the first Umvukela or Imfazo. Okay, and this feature here, the 3D there, and also that picture, it's actually one of the icons or symbols of the nation, and it appears on our currency, on our money. Those balancing rocks there are called the Shiremba balancing rocks, and they're found somewhere very close to the city of Harare. Okay, so we do have a few other iconic symbols or emblems that we use in Zimbabwe that are sort of show our pride and our dignity as a people, and those include that bird there, the Zimbabwe bird, which is the African fish eagle, the bateleur eagle, and also the flame lily, which is a wild, very beautiful flower. But you can come closer again. So, on this stand, we are trying to tell the history of Zimbabwe. In general, we do have some rock-solid pre-colonial kingdoms that were existing in the land between the Zambezi and the Limpopo rivers, popularly known as the Zimbabwean Plateau. So some of them were reigning over the whole of it or beyond its borders, or also some were reigning over portions of it. So we have kingdoms like the Zimbabwe Kingdom, which was based at the Great Zimbabwe. We also have the Mutapa State, the Mutwa State, the Roswi, the Mtwagazi, and others, and also the generic Bukalanga. All right. So in these kingdoms, you know, they were strides towards civilization, towards modernization, towards technological advancement. In the African setting, the political systems were also very, very sophisticated and very solid. So also economic activities such as mining, agriculture, and others, and hunting as well, were part of what was going on in those kingdoms, right? But we also want to talk about the pre-colonial European influences before the actual colonization. We have missionaries coming in, we have explorers coming in, big game hunters coming in, and traders as well. One such figure was Dr. David Livingstone, and what these guys did was to gather information, try to map, you know, the location of different features within Africa, and feed that information to their handlers back in Europe, which was then used to subdivide and share territories in Africa based on the Berlin Conference of 1884 and 1885. All right. So we see that after the influx of these people, within the 19th century, we then see the boys coming in, the likes of Cecil Rhodes and others coming in to claim portions of Africa. And so the British South Africa Company, which was led by Rhodes, then claimed territory here in Zimbabwe, and the country was renamed Rhodesia. Okay, and these items here again were then used by the locals to say we are now arming up and confronting the status quo to reclaim our dignity, to reclaim our self-determination and liberty. The problem was, when the settlers came in and took over, they pushed away the locals from fertile lands, they stripped them of their privileges, and laws were enacted which were banning locals from owning land. So, having lost that birthright, they armed up and confronted the colonizer using these, right? And we then use this picture here and the Chiremba balancing rocks here in 3D as a way of saying post-independence, the Zimbabwean people have their rights restored, have their dignity restored, and we have things that we use, symbols that we use to celebrate that independence, that ability to govern ourselves. Okay, so in brief, this is like 1,000 years of Zimbabwean history unpacked in just 10 minutes.